morning? Well, not quite. Hey, it's me again. You know, we're almost done with this series, the 12th to the 12th series. This, actually, 30 days. 30 days are up Sunday, but the 12th is Tuesday. So, we're done Tuesday. It'll be 32 days. So yeah, I suppose we'll miss having to do it every day, but I will try to keep posting videos every day, if I can. Much as I can. It's been awesome for the channel. Increased subscribers and increased earnings. It's really good. Okay, today we're going to talk about acting. The love of my life. I have always loved acting. And it sounds kind of crazy because, I mean, acting is, wanting to prove your skill and acting natural and, reproducing human emotions and all those sort of things, actions. And and that's really my thing. I mean, everything else is sort of a showcase for the acting. I mean, my films are showcases for the acting. I guess my singing is sort of too. And my writing are stories for my acting. Can never get enough of acting. Anyway, oh yeah, and I suppose you notice these. I have a whole bunch of them. I'll keep changing them every couple of minutes. See which one did you think? Do you think grown women are allowed to wear these? It fits, so why not? Huh? Okay, so I said I'm crazy about theater history and film history. I just love it all to pieces. So it might sound kind of crazy that what I love to do the most is, compete with expressing emotions and acting parts better than other people, which is kind of weird if you think about it, but that's my thing. I love to act. So, I'm going to show you this history book. It's one of my favorite books of late. I got this like 2 years ago, and I'll show you that close up. It is the Enchanted Years of the Stage. Enchanted. See, I'm not really a fantasy person, but I am a magic, fairy tale magic type person. I suppose it's a type of fantasy, but not the same fantasy as, like the Lord of the Rings. So lots of people like those, but that's not really my style of fantasy. Now, during my teenage years when I was in college and stuff, I worked in community theater a lot. But I gave it up whenever I graduated from college because, after all, I have a degree in acting, and, You know, I didn't go to college and do all that studying just to be queen of the community theater, which if I really wanted to, I suppose I could have been. But my heart is really in films, and theater takes up so much time. But I am grateful for my training in the theater because as a filmmaker, I'm working on blending, blending like film and theater together to help speed up production and, develop new methods to help the independent filmmakers get their vision out and done faster, because there's all kind of constraints when you're an independent, time, actors, financial, locations, there's all kind of constraints you have to deal with. So using methods like theatrical methods are even better to help with filmmaking. When I was at Bob Jones University, I spent many a wonderful hour at the library. Guests call me the typical geek, because they had shelves full of theater history books and film history books. Oh, I was in heaven. They had books written from the 1800s on the old actors. They had some of those plays. And I just, like I said, the 19th century, the 1800s are my totally favorite era of theater because there's just so much romance. It's back when the country and the world was still more innocent, and there was just so more romance in those days, and that's why it's my favorite. Now, and my ambitions. Oh yes, I'm going to tell you my secret ambition. I'm going to mention my heroine, Sarah Bernhardt. Yes, I know she lived 100 years ago, and she was rather overly dramatic, but she is still probably my favorite heroine. And the point is, I don't think it's really so much because of her acting, it's because of her courage and her determination. She was the indefatigable Sarah, and she kept on fighting and fighting and kept going. And that really, I think, is what has made her the legend she is today, that still has the power to inspire people. Whereas, the other actresses of her day, some of them were successful, but they don't remain part of our cultural icons like Sarah Bernhardt does. So I'd like to do a one-woman show of her too, because she's pretty cool. And like I said, if you want to look up Sarah Bernhardt, there are clips of her on YouTube, and you can see what she's all about and hear her speak even. I said she was born 1844 and died 1923, so there are a few little films and some recordings of her. And so Sarah Bernhardt, I read her book first when I was 14, and I was totally inspired. So it has become my ambition. Of course, I wanted to be an actress since I was 6, so it's just part of me. And like I said, it's like a bird gotta fly, fish gotta swim, I gotta act. That's pretty much the way it is. That's how I was built and wired. So I'm an actress. And ever since I read Sarah Bernhardt's book when I was 14, I've always dreamed, just like she wanted to be the greatest actress in the world. And which she was. You could argue and say the competition wasn't as stiff in her day. And okay, you're probably right about that. But still, today, the competition is more out in the open. You can see the actors. You find out who are all the actors you're competing against. And plus, I think the standards should be different. In those days, the standards were just for dramatic acting. The greatest actress in the world was a dramatic actress. I think the greatest actor, actress in the world should be somebody who has a grasp of, comedy and drama and a variety of type of roles, So I'm working on defining some standards for greatness. I don't think people even think or care about acting anymore, but we're going to bring it back. And yes, I have had the ambition to be the greatest actress in the world, but like I said, you really can't prove that because it's subjective. Because different people will have different ideas of what is great and who is great, and that's fine. But there's a certain standard that you can, be one of the greatest. So we're going to work on doing some definitions and bringing back acting as a high art because, like I said, I just love acting. It's my thing. And so you're saying, okay, well, show us some of your acting. Well, I was thinking tomorrow, maybe I will do for you some imitations and or maybe some pieces of acting, like some from dramatic poetry and literature, and imitate some of my favorite actresses from the silver screen. And so maybe give you a little bit of idea where I am acting-wise. So, but yes, I hope to continue to do, bigger and more dramatic things. Like I said, I'm heading on to one-woman shows next, and one-woman shows are the test of an actress. So, alrighty. Well, I hope you've enjoyed seeing all my pretty little hair bows and talking a little bit about the history of theater and grandeur and Sarah Bernhardt and acting. And tomorrow I will do some pieces for you. Okay. Talk to you tomorrow.